All right, so let's talk about the stinker of the night. That was Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza. These two were supposed to fight. Well, they were fighting for the strawweight championship, the co-main event, and going into this fight, considering that both of them had already fought before, considering the fact that Rose was definitely looking to avenge that loss, the fact that she lost the opportunity to win the championship to Carla Esparza, you definitely expected the fight to have a different feel to it, right? Also, the fact that Rose Namajunas is so much better, much more experienced, much more dangerous, more well-rounded. Just overall, Rose is a much better fighter, a more seasoned fighter than the version of her that fought Carla Esparza the first time. Carla on her own right is also a better fighter. And so you just expected a better fight, because typically when two fighters are, well, when they're better than they were, the fights tend to be more competitive, they tend to be more skillful. Overall, they tend to be better. But occasionally, you get this weird thing where both fighters have so much respect for each other's skills that it just ends up being a dud. And that's what happened yesterday, man. Rose, of course, is more of predominantly a striker these days, even though she has very good grappling skills. But if you were to think about Rose, you would think more of her striking, her boxing specifically. And then, of course, Carla Esparza, you're thinking about her wrestling, her grappling, take you down, hold you down, grind you out kind of thing. And so the fight starts out, and everyone's excited, like, oh, here we go, let's see what's going to happen. And the whole entire round one, they pretty much just stared at each other. They did not do a single thing. They were fakes, but they were pretty much just keeping kicking range against each other. Rose keeping her base very low, expecting that takedown to come. Carla Esparza staying at a distance because she doesn't want to enter the pocket and get shredded by Rose. Just both of them fighting very, I don't want to say scared. I don't want that to be the word that I use. Just very cautious because they knew, they understood the opponent's skills. And when you see fighters do that, there's also like an underlying message there, where it's saying, like Rose is saying, I don't have any confidence whatsoever in my takedown defense. I don't have any confidence whatsoever in my ability to get back up to my feet. And then Carla Esparza on her side is pretty much saying, I don't have any confidence whatsoever in my striking defense, and I don't have any confidence whatsoever in my striking offense. So it's, if I can't play my game, then I'm just not going to play at all. If I can't strike, if you're Rose, if I cannot strike, then I guess I'm not going to fight at all. And if Carla, if I can't wrestle at all, then I guess I'm not going to fight at all. And it's it leads to such a boring fight. And it's so weird seeing that happening in MMA at this point. You know what I mean? Like in the past, you would see that. In the past, where you had more specialists, where, you know, you had karate specialists, taekwondo specialists, wrestling specialists, jiu-jitsu specialists, boxing specialists, you saw more of that. But these days, everyone knows how to do everything. At least everyone is fairly competent at everything. So it's just, it was such a surprise seeing both of them fighting so scared, you know? And I guess I'm watching it, it just made me wish that, like, more fighters just focused on being well-rounded, right? Like, this is a debate that's been going on for a while. Like, what's better, to be a jack of all trade, a master of none, or to be a specialist, right? As I getting knock her down right there with a roundhouse kick to the head. By the way, this fight right here, I stripped the live commentary so I can actually talk about the fights. I think I'm just gonna do that for the second fight that's coming up, and just commentate it. Just commentate on the fight afterwards. But it just, you know, makes you appreciate guys like GSP, makes you appreciate guys like DC. Khabib, for example. Like, I can't imagine a situation where Khabib is not able to take you down, even though he's not known as a striker. He's not just gonna run around and fight scared the whole entire time, you know? And it was such a bummer, man. It was such a bummer. Like, it kept happening. Round one was bad. Round 2 was bad. Round 3 was bad. Round 4 was bad. Round 5 was bad. Every single round was just like that. Awful. Like, they did nothing. And the whole like, we were all so shocked. We couldn't believe it was happening. Truly, truly, the worst fight. At least the worst title fight that we've seen. Honestly, I can't think of a worse one. Like, I'm trying to think, and I cannot think of a worse one. But this is fight number 2 right here. I believe this fight is also against. No, this was against Wei Li. Yeah, against Wei Li. And Joe and DC, they were talking about how, like, it's such a bad idea to fight like that, because, like, when nothing's happening, any little big action wins you the round. You know? And considering how the fights are judged, of course, damage is king. You know? If you're doing damage to your opponent, you land in significant strikes with impact. It matters more than stuff like, let's say, octagon control or aggression. Like, the only time octagon control and aggression is really considered is when striking as well as grappling is pretty much equal. If we can't figure out who had the more effective striking or grappling, and that was pretty much round 1. And I remember we all going, Carla Esparza just won round number 1 by simply moving forward, which is absurd. Absurd to think about. But, and then, oh my God, Pat Barry, bro. Pat Barry and Trevor Whitman. For as intelligent as Trevor Whitman is, I couldn't believe the advice they were giving Rose in the corner. Pat Barry was telling her, "Oh, you hear the boos? You hear the boos? That's how you know you're doing it right." Like, what are you talking about? Like, the people are booing because she's not doing anything. How can you win a fight by doing nothing? Reminded me of, like, you know, your classic UFC 4 player that thinks his IQ is just the greatest in the world because he doesn't do shit during the fight. Because he runs around, doesn't do anything. He's got this high IQ. Meanwhile, you don't have IQ because you're constantly trying to attack him. It just reminded me of that. I'm like, dude, what do you do? Like, bros, go fight. Just let the hands go. You know you're already gonna get taken down. That's a given. So why not just take the opportunity to do damage? Do damage on the feet. If you get taken down, trust and believe in your ability to get back up. Trust in your jiu-jitsu. Trust in your ability to do damage from the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, damn. And then Carla herself, like, geez, girl, if you want to get a takedown, if you want to wrestle, like, you might have to move forward a little bit. Move forward. Move your head. Use some strikes to get into the pocket, and then, you know, shoot a takedown, chain wrestle, get into the clinch, like, force things a little bit. Don't just stand on the outside and wait for Rose to come in before you can shoot. It was just a dud, man. Awful fight, truly. And I don't say that often, man. I'm typically one of those that's like, I can find something good in every fight. This one was just terrible, man. Terrible. Just terrible. But yeah, Carla Esparza is our new strawweight champion, and it just feels awful. Like, it doesn't make it. It feels undeserved. It really does. It feels like that belt should just be stripped off both of them, hung up somewhere, and have someone else fight for the belt. You know, like, have Wei Li and Joanna Champion fight for the belt. Like, it just, the fact that one of them got to walk out of there with the belt just makes no fucking sense. Like, I get it. You win, you walk out with the belt, but, like, bro, they didn't fight. They literally didn't fight. Anyways, round 2 of this fight. Let's see what happened here. I'm trying to remember what happened in this fight. I mean, looks like my opponent is really trying to, well, making sure that they're keeping their strike count high. Of course, I'm trying to make sure I'm controlling the center of the octagon. Looks like I look for a front kick right there. Trying to remember what happened here. Send her back. So Rose has that. Oh, got rocked right there. I got rocked again. Oh, God. That was a double whammy to the head and to the body. All right. So we sat her down right there. To the body, to the head again. That still lands even though I sidestep right there. As I'm watching this, I'm noticing if I could give advice to myself playing, I'd say the opponent is throwing, looking for opportunities to work the body with that roundhouse from the lead leg. And if you can find an opportunity to throw like a right hook as she's going for that roundhouse, like right there, that kick right there, if you could find an opportunity to throw a right hook while she's doing it, you could get a rock. Like right there, especially when you're close enough to do it. Like, there you go. That was a left hook. Yeah, try to do that, boys. Like, if you're facing somebody that you're noticing they're throwing, especially the lead roundhouse to the body, and you're noticing that they don't mind throwing it from the pocket, you can actually stand your ground, let it land, but as it's landing, fire off like a right hook, left hook combo or something. And if you land, you can actually set him down. That's a very good tactic to use. Oh, God. That was a left hook cross to sit her down right there. Jab, jab, straight from my opponent. Using these jabs. Using the jabs to control the pace of the fight. Like Dimitri Bivol. You got, man, I checked out the fight highlights. I haven't watched the whole thing. I'm actually thinking of buying the fight because if there's a fight where somebody beats Canelo Alvarez, I want to own it. I want to own it. I want to be able to go back and study it and rewatch it over and over again. I'm thinking of buying the fight just so I can record that fight. But from the highlights that I saw, it was the jabs. Imagine that. It was the jabs. Dimitri was just jabbing nonstop. Jabbing. Long string of combinations. Breaking through the block. It's so hilarious, bro. Just keeping Canelo pinned down with offense. And that was beautiful to see. So I'm like, damn, like Canelo is not dealing with this at all. Occasionally Canelo would like land like from the highlights from what I saw, there were a few bombs in there by Canelo, but Dimitri just seems that he was able to deal with that very well. I don't know if it's the size. I really don't know much about the fighter, or maybe he's just really tough. But that was a very interesting performance so far from what I've seen. So we're gonna go watch it back, and I can't wait to enjoy that fight, man. Right there. There's that beautiful jab right there. Slip straight to deal with my opponent trying to jab me right back. Best way to beat a jabber is to jab right back. That's your classic boxing rule. If you're facing someone that's jabbing you, the best way to beat them is to jab them right back. You gotta jab them right back. If you guys remember Floyd Mayweather versus... Oh, what is his name? I'm forgetting his name. 5'10" dude that was caught wearing female lingerie. I'm totally forgetting his name. He fought Floyd Mayweather, and he almost beat Floyd, man. He almost beat Floyd by jabbing the bejesus out of Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd has never really been known for having, like, the greatest jabs in the world. He has a really lethal cross, but Floyd just never really jabbed too much. Like, a lot of times he would lead with a left hook. A lot of times he would just straight up lead with a cross. In that sense, he kind of reminded me of Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones was never really much of a jabber. He would lead with his cross. He would lead with that nasty left hook of his. So interesting. So interesting how some fighters are just like that. Yeah, why am I forgetting this man's name? You guys will remind me in the comment section, I'm pretty sure. I also remember that when Canelo Alvarez fought Triple G, I don't know if it was the second fight or the first one, Triple G was doing like really good work with his jabs against Canelo. So it's very, I think there might be something there, man. As I finish this fight, there might be something there against Canelo where, you know, maybe he's susceptible to staccato jabs, where it's just like consistent over and over and over and over, where you just pepper him. And not even full power jab, like just tap, 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 tap the whole entire time. Seems like it's something that he might, you know, his opponents might key in on and be like, oh shit. Especially if they're longer, you know, taller, longer. Anyways, just wanted to talk about the stinker of the night. It was a bad fight, man. I can't even tell you guys to go watch it. I mean, if you're not able to sleep for some reason and you need help falling asleep, then sure, go check it out. It'll definitely put you to sleep, that's for sure. But that is it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We are going to talk about Tony Ferguson. Do not think I am forgetting about El Cucuy. We will talk about Tony Ferguson in a video coming up. Just wanted to address this one first. But that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later. As always, stay safe. Peace out. Have a good one, boys.